Back again. Another thrilling adventure of the kobolds. Last session was quite interesting in that we learned several things about our lovely cast members, or specifically one Meepo Molo, ardent follower of Eldath. In her reuniting with the druid Rhiannoc, the party discovered that Meepo was not always a kobold. Before meeting an untimely demise by the hooves, shall we say, of the awakened moose of Lonelywood, Meepo Molo was once a Kenku, by the name, I believe, of Crying Child. If that's correct, Stephen.
That's correct.
That is correct. And Rhiannoc brought Meepo back from the dead, or rather reincarnated her into the form of the kobold that she is now. And it was a nice reunion not only for Meepo, but for Angajuk, the awakened whale who had not seen Rhiannoc in quite a long time. But in order to further the goals of Villain Harpel, the one who you had so offered to help in retrieving the codicil of White, you all boarded Angajuk and headed out for the island of the Frostmaiden. Along the way, you discovered many various various different ruins of giant make underneath the waves, which you decided to leave alone for now, but hopefully, perhaps would come back to later. And during this journey, Rhiannoc had another gift to give. The gift of awakening to Muerte Blanca, to which she may or may not regret in the near future, but that will remain to be seen for now. But it seems as if the gift did take, and Muerte Blanca is among the sapient for now. Whether that's a good or bad thing, we will come to know in the coming sessions. We will see. But as the journey concluded, you all came to the island itself, covered in a dense shroud of mist. You came to find that there was only really one place to find shore on this island. A long-lost giant's dock, massive in scale, and an even more massive set of giant steps, upon the top of which was a ice mephit by the name of Sopo, who only through the help of through the help of Scales and the help of Villain Harpel with a comprehend languages spell, were able to determine that they in fact wanted to be a guide for you. Although there was some strange intent behind such an offer, remains yet to be seen. But seems earnest for now, and, to their credit, has guided you through this strange and haunting island of the Frostmaiden, through which you discovered strange sculptures made perfectly of ice, made from some master carver, at least from the skill of the design at least alone. But not only that, you also discovered a walled-off portion of the island, parts of the wall long since crumbled into shards of ice and snow. One that had a different set of sculptures. One that, instead of being made purely of snow and ice, were the corpses of long-lost travelers. And one of them was the frozen corpse of your comrade, Savage, who was now being beset upon by a frost troll looking for its next meal, to which the rest of you clearly stated that is not going to happen. And I would like you all to roll initiative, please.
Let's see. Ta-da!
Actually, no. I'll have. How about? Yeah, that's a good one. Alrighty, let me look at this boyo right here. And of course, I'm sure you noticed this lovely map right here. That would be Maps by Tessa on DM's Guild, and I can set the link right here. You can go ahead.
It's very pretty.
It is very pretty. For some reason, I can't send the link. Hold on 1 second. Hang on. One moment. Ah!
Here it is. No. Here it is.
Hang on. No, I will put this in chat, so help me. Ah, okay, there's the problem. I couldn't right-click onto OBS, so I have to Control-C. There we go. DM's Guild. Tessa Moorcroft, go ahead and look at her lovely maps. They are very well worth the purchase.
And which is on Firefox, by the way.
It's on fire. Yeah, I know. I switched.
Okay.
I had to
fine.
do a little reconnaissance.
But like 92 maps, $9, $10. Sorry,
Very good deal.
that's actually not bad. It's not bad at all.
No, it's not for what it's all this time you save.
Yeah, and especially because like it's an Icewind Dale pack, but the previews I'm seeing looks generic enough that you could just use it for anything snowy.
Yeah, very good quality. Which reminds me that I need to roll initiative for the troll.
I also need to roll initiative for Meepo because I was getting tea while you were talking.
And Muerte.
And Muerte, who, by the way,
It's
has a
out
new
for blood.
fancy stat block, which I,
It does. It's quite nice.
yeah. So if any of you, when her turn comes up, want to actually use her, like use the stat block, you are more than welcome to. Just if anyone wants to, just go ahead and let me know on that. Hold on, I have to moving that back. I just have to add the turn to that thing.
Did I manage to get the cannon out before the end of the last session?
I don't know if you did. Just to my memory.
I don't think I did either. Okay. I'll just deploy it now then, I guess.
So, in terms of the terrain, you said that this was the crumbling remains of a wall of ice?
Yeah, so you specifically, the wall right in front of you has been crumbled down at least to a part, kind of like a level where you can climb over it. Like it's like a 5-foot climb, so it's like slightly difficult terrain of like 10 feet up. The rest of the wall is about like, I'd say 10, 15 feet high.
Hmm.
Let me know if the music's too loud as well. But that means, yes, it is Skanuk's turn first.
All right.
But it might be on my side.
Let's see. Well, it is an action. Yes. Okay. I think that'll be my first step. Will be to clamber up on top of this wall.
Alrighty.
So over Trollican, I have the high ground. Deploy the cannon.
Cannon deployed.
Cannon is deployed. Yeah, then I guess I'll just fire as a cannon.
Alright, go ahead and fire it.
Yeah, so we did, while joking, establish that Savage does not count as an ally anymore. So
sad look down as that statement comes up again. Oh.
Okay.
However, to make it even more sad.
Oh no! I
Yeah.
forgot he had that pirate coat.
And he did have a nice little coat to him.
Oof, it hurts.
I
Oh
know.
boy.
Just to add insult to injury. But that is a solid hit on the Frost Troll. As the Force Ballista squares it like right in between the two shoulders, and it it actually does get pushed 5 feet away, not barreling directly into Savage's frozen corpse, but right next to it, like just narrowly missing it. The troll kind of sniffs around.
Hey, asshole! Pick on someone your own size. Yeah, you with the bad breath.
It's just Robinson, Garash. And in giant Hawks, you would hear, "Ooh, me." Not the brightest torch in the dungeon. This troll. Ouch.
13-foot damage. A lot.
Yeah, quite a significant amount. Hold on. It's not... I'm just moving it back because it wasn't registering the hit. There we go. Push that. I'll put that back. There we go. All right. Solid hit.
Well, excellent. That is my turn.
Alrighty. Perfect. So, Hux, it's your turn.
I don't think I can get very far once I'm at the other side of the wall. So it's 10 feet up, climbing, not walking, so I don't get to ignore that difficult terrain. And then a small hop down, so that's should be just 15 to go down.
Shouldn't be too far, yeah.
I'm going to get up to here. I'm going to activate my Giant's Might and be large. Because why not? I will draw my axe and raise my shield, and I'll point the axe at him because there's not much else I can do at the moment. And I will say in Giant, "Yeah, you leave our buddy alone. If you know what's good for you."
You will hear back in Giant. I'm hungry. Go bother some other troll. This one's mine.
Go bother some other frozen body. There's plenty of popsicles around here. That one's special, and we want him.
Well, now I want him, because you said he's special. That's as much as you can get out of him.
Alright, but that is Hox's turn.
Alright. Only I can have the special one. And he'll charge forward. Kind of barreling on all fours. And he will kind of give a big old kind of cartoon Donkey Kong wind up with his one claw. He's going to make 3 attacks. First, he's going to strike with his claw. That's a 24 to hit. As he cracks you right in the chest.
Yes, that will hit.
The 13 will not. As he goes for the reach around, clang, it goes against your shield. And he screams in fury as he goes in for the bite. A 16, I think, will also miss.
Yes, my shield blocks that.
Alright, so you are only going to take then... rolled max at 10 points of piercing... not piercing damage, because he gets you with a claw. Sorry. Misunderstanding there. You instead take 15 points of slashing damage.
Well, that's not ideal, but it's not terrible either.
Not terrible. And as with the, as before, you notice that around you, the air around the frost troll begins to freeze around you. It is extremely... It was cold before, but now with the frost troll, it is now extremely cold.
Okay. Can I get the token adjusted to large again?
You can. You certainly can.
Excellent.
Yep. And that will be the end of the Ice Troll's turn. And instead, it will be the turn of... Muerte Blanca. Muerte Blanca. Let's see here. Muerte. Her eyes immediately stare in this direction. And back at the troll. And back at Savage. Back at the troll. And back at Savage. and she lets out an ear-piercing scream. And she will charge. So let's see, it's 10, so she can move up to 50 feet. 10 feet up. Actually, no, this section was like 5 feet up, so actually it's not that big. 5 feet up. She can get up to right there. Stare down the troll. By the way, this health is not accurate to the current health. One moment. I need to make an adjustment. And her name currently reflects what it should be. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, and now she not only gets 1 attack, but Muerte gets 2. Woe upon be this poor frost troll. There is no mercy for you.
I just had a moment of thinking the 99 out of 99 was 9,999, and I was like, whoa, is Muerte working on, like, JRPG logic here? Wait a second. What just happened? No, it is 99 out of 99.
No.
Okay.
Alright, but...
It's an entirely different genre.
Yeah, so because she was awakened and we had a small discussion about it, Muerte now has sidekick levels. So she, of course, is a warrior sidekick. She gets to attack twice. Actually, that reminds me, she should have actually rolled for initiative twice because of battle readiness. Roll for that again. Okay, so her initiative is actually higher than that. Not that it matters too much, but...
In the future.
In the future. So, that is 2 with advantage, a 28, and an 18 to hit. Oh no, 27 to hit with advantage because of Blood Frenzy. That's 2 attacks with the beak. You watch as she... Yes?
The first beak is a critical hit because she has an improved critical.
Oh, is it a 19?
Yes.
So be it. Alright, in that case, let me roll that extra d8 then. Okay, it's a 1, but still. That is 13 points of slashing damage and 10 points of slashing damage. Oof, not too
So
shabby.
she's like a weird mix of, like, barbarian and champion fighter.
Kind of, yeah.
Ooh. Oh.
Huh.
It's mostly champion fighter with like some.
There's like champion fighter and shark in there.
Champion Shark half orc.
Something like that.
She's Sahaugen. That's what a Sahaugen would look
Look-
like if it was a champion fighter.
She's become a bit of a Frankenstein's monster during this whole business, and she is terrifying to behold.
She's what you would call
Perfect
one
fighting
angry
machine.
bird.
One angry bird.
And the fighting machine.
Yeah, as she just jackhammers the frost troll into submission, just bonk, 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 slash, slash, slash with her beak. The frost troll is now very terrified. And on that note, Meepo, it is now your turn.
The polar opposite of the killing machine. I'm just going to cast Sanctuary on myself. And then, do we need... I don't think we'll need Emboldening Bond for one troll. So I'm going to save that and use the resistance cantrip on... Let's see how far. Okay, so I'm going to move up to Hawks, use resistance on him. I think I can maybe do it on him. Let me double check.
I believe you can.
And then I'm going to move over to there.
All right, perfect. Is that your turn?
That is my turn.
All right, that means Scale. It is now your turn.
So for future reference,
Mm-hmm.
what exactly is the level of Muerte Blanca.
So for specifically, because psychic levels, I believe, match player level, so she would be psychic level 8 right now.
So theoretically,
Yes.
if I wanted to polymorph her into something larger, I could.
Theoretically, yes.
Good to know. Won't do it yet. I'll keep it in the back of my mind.
All right, I will keep that in the back of my mind as well. In GM terror, like, what is he planning?
We don't need a giant ape with the bloodlust of Muerte.
Nah, you totally do. You kidding me? Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
Monkey Blanca.
Monkey Blanca.
Return to monkey.
Return to monkey.
George.
I guess with Blanca, it should be more like Return to T-Rex, wouldn't it?
It's true.
That is true. Ooh, they brought them Psychic Lens, one of the new spells from Fizzbonds. Nice.
Ooh.
And a little bit of unsettling words on top of that. Excellent.
Decreases their save by 1, but that 1 may help.
You know what? Considering, like, you know how 5e is, like, that 1 might mean everything. So we'll see. We'll see. Alright, so that is going to be... Let me see, that's an intelligence save, I think. It is, okay. Well, the troll is not very smart. Let's see. Alright, so I'm going to add the -1 onto the save, so that's be a 1d20. -3. No. No. How would you like to flavor the psychic lands?
A high-pitched squeal comes out of the flute that I play, and the lance just kind of apparates from the end of the flute, and at the climactic of the flute's note, it fires and drills like the old animation of horn drill from Pokemon.
Yes!
Right into the dude's skull.
Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember, like, the announcer voice, like, oh, critical hit!
It's super effective.
It's super effective!
They're eyeing each other warily.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. What'd you say, Caleb?
They're eyeing each other warily.
That's Muerte.
By the skin of its teeth! Alright, it takes 28 points of psychic damage. And you can see as like there's like a kind of like an audible like sound, and there's just a little bit of blood that is dribbling down the troll's face and its tusks, and it is just staring there idly in the distance like. I don't feel so good. You hear in Giant Hawks.
Also, it is incapacitated until the start of my next turn.
Ooh, not good. Not good for him. Very bad. Very, very bad. I'll put that one there. All right, is that your turn, Scales?
Yes, it is.
All right. Skanuk, it is back to you.
Oh, I just had a thought. Trolls usually heal, right? Unless they're hit by fire.
Yes, you learned that from your last encounter with the troll. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Did he heal on his turn last time?
He did, yes.
He didn't even...
Okay.
Never mind, he did take damage.
He did, yeah.
Well, that's quite enough of that. Open up with fire. Time for me to open up with Firebolt. So, for your boot.
Ooh, yeah, that'll definitely hit the ice troll.
He takes 11 fire damage.
11 fire damage, alright. And at this point, the troll let's just say he does not look healthy. As the firebolt impacts him like right in the chest, and it starts to sizzle and burn, and some of those wounds that were starting to heal just start to crisp and fall off.
Burn, baby, burn. Also, just get smashed.
Force Ballista Inferno. 17 will also hit.
Yep, that is 13 force, no arcane firearm damage.
Alright, 13 points of force damage. Ouchie, ouchie. And it just gets, boom, punted backward 5 feet.
You know, that's almost like a downside to the force ballista in some cases.
Kind of. I mean, yes and no. Yes, it does push them back 5 feet without a chance for opportunity attacks. But if a person wants to move away without the fear of the opportunity attack, they can. I guess 5 feet in the grand scheme of things isn't too large, I suppose.
Yeah. I think it's not a problem for like a melee monster like a troll. It could be a little bit annoying if there's like, you know, a caster that we finally managed to pin down.
Okay.
It's situation.
Here's a hypothetical for you.
All right, give it to me.
So, you hit something with Booming Blade, a Force Ballista pushes it back. Now, if it wants to get back into close combat, it has to take the Booming Blade extra damage. Because the majority of things that are in close combat and get hit with Booming Blade are going to be like, well, actually, I'll just stay here and keep swinging. But if it's something that wants to be in close combat, I mean, I guess it would be the same thing with getting up close to a ranged enemy and hitting him with Booming Blade. But yes, giving them an actual situation where they might want to move up again.
That's true. That is good to think about.
I think Artificers even get Booming Blade. Yeah, we do. Interesting.
Oh. Well, that's a nice thought for a different build. Is that your turn?
We also get yes. We also get GFB, so...
All right. In that case, Hox Hagnar, it is your turn.
You've got to have both GFB and booming just in case you encounter something immune to fire.
Let's see here. And as you start your turn, Hox, you are within 10 feet of the creature. So you are going to take some cold damage from its aura of cold.
Okay.
Let me double check here. You are going to take...
Any save or anything for that?
Funnily enough, there is not a save. This is just straight damage. You take 10 points of cold damage.
Okay.
Alright, but you still have your turn?
Indeed, I do. So I'm going to try and make sure it can't get away from Muerte as well. I'm going to move to here. Now, it being incapacitated doesn't help me hit it. So I will use my bonus action.
You have advantage. You should have advantage to hit it, actually.
Incapacitated is just it can't take actions or reactions.
Oh.
Doesn't give you advantage on anything. Doesn't reduce his movement to 0.
It does make it drop concentration though.
Well,
yeah.
That troll's not concentrating on anything.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make my attack straight, and then I will use my bonus action to do a shove with the shield.
okay, fair enough.
So I get 2 battle axe attacks.
16 will definitely hit.
All right, and okay, there we go.
All right then. Hold on. Guess we are doing the lethal rolls here.
Oh, that is true.
Da, 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 da.
The worst time to be a frost roll.
The absolute worst. The absolute worst time. Lingering injuries. As you crunch your battle axe right into its chest, you hear a sickening crunch as you feel and hear some of its ribs just start to break.
So now, hopefully, if, assuming that Skanuk's fire keeps it from regenerating, that puts it in a pretty bad situation.
Extremely bad.
Alright, and so then, as part of that, I will shove with my Shieldmaster feat. which is an athletics against its athletics.
Alrighty.
And I believe, because I am big, I have advantage on this strength check. So, a 21.
Not for the frost troll. It's kind of incapacitated state. It just kind of starts like lumbering back and forth. You can still kind of see the remnants of that psychic drill like pressing against its forehead, still spinning. And it's just you see like a little bit of drool start to fall off and then turn to ice as it hits the ground, leaving you wide open for you to boom, just shove him to the side.
I don't want to push him back. I want to knock him over.
Oh, you want to knock him prone? I'm so sorry. I misheard. Yep. Shoom, boom, rolling right on his face.
Technically, still a shove. Just
right. So that's my fault.
Downward instead of sideways.
Yeah, I misheard. My apologies.
From 5 feet straight down.
All right. Is that your turn?
Yeah, that is everything I can do for now.
All right. So the ice troll's turn. It is incapacitated until the end of Scale's next turn. So it will have to pass. Which, of course, leaves us with Muerte Blanca. Muerte Blanca. Dashing through the snow. Eyes locked on target. She will strike.
I was debating roaring, but this also gives Muerte advantage, so I don't think it's a big loss that I didn't. Oh, it is not at all a big loss that I didn't.
You know,
Muerte just doesn't care.
No, she does not. And as you leave the troll wide open for her advance, she leaps up onto the troll's back and just starts hammering and hammering with her axe-like beak. Chop, 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 chop. For over and over, repeating until there is nothing left of this frost troll's head other than a fleshy pulp. And the frost troll is dead. And combat comes to a close.
Because it took fire damage.
Indeed, because it took fire damage.
What a big dumb taking fire damage. I wouldn't have made that mistake.
To be fair, it didn't get much of a chance to retreat after.
Oh no, that's the joke, is that it's completely absurd for me to say that I wouldn't have.
This was just a mugging, just an absolute mugging. Burn the corpse. Oh god.
Yeah, just burn that right up. All right, and just because we are still on the map, this lovely map was made by Tessa and Warcraft, and so if you want to go ahead and check out more of their work, you can go ahead and search for Maps by Tessa on DM's Guild, and just so I can put it again, that's another link from DM's Guild right there in the chat. Beautiful work. Alrighty, so that does mean combat has come to a close, and so you are free to move about. As Villain kind of stares across, well done. Sort of staying out on this one, but excellent work.
I really think we've got to figure out how to get these people out of here. I wonder if there's a way to revive all of them, or if that's just a little too much.
You can go ahead and make a medicine check for me, Meepo.
Okay.
My specialties are divination, thank you. Villain kind of peers out from over the ruined wall. Good at finding information, and also I can raise the dead. Well, I can animate
not in the
dead,
way
not
that we
freeze.
want.
Exactly.
$22 on my medicine.
22. Judging from all of the corpses that you see in this veritable garden of death, most of these people have been dead for weeks. Some of them, the freshest one is maybe a couple days on. Maybe they could be saved, but even then, far beyond revivify.
Maybe after this is all over, we can do something about it.
Maybe. So should we take him?
Yep, the body of Savage is still there, still in that same pose, which, if I remember correctly, Caleb, was the arms wide out, accepting pose, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Just not a single fear of death froze in that frozen face. So, how do you proceed?
Well, let's get him on Muerte's saddle.
And Muerte at the moment is still... She's still sort of defiling the body, shall we say? She is still in the midst of slashing the arms and slashing the back. Eventually she does calm herself. In her newly awakened state, she starts panting. And just kind of looks to you. Yes?
Can I just point out that if we put him on her saddle, this is going to look a lot like the same sort of situation that, our Beatrice is in herself with the fella on her back.
That may be true, but Muerte's
Muerte's
a little
aware
bit
he's dead.
smarter than
That's
a
true.
Beatrice
It
at
is
this
true.
point.
I am no stupid dragon. I at least know that's my companion is gone.
No, I'm just pointing out the symbolic echoing of the situation.
That is true. It is kind of an interesting comparison.
Yeah. Meanwhile, while you're kind of having this conversation, you just hear this very shrill, just kind of... You hear the laughing of a ice method to your side. You see the guide who had been showing you around, Sopo, is just pointing and laughing at the frost troll. He's just barreled over, full gut shaking laughter, just doubled over, just rolling around in the snow.
Is he just hoping we cause chaos and violence?
You can make an insight check if you want.
Is he just fishing for? Is he just fishing for shit to go down?
Well,
Because I can respect that.
Hold on, where's a different D20?
I get the feeling he particularly doesn't like the troll, at least.
Okay, both Skanuk and Meepo and Hawks, all of you can tell right away. This creature clearly is taking great delight in the suffering of the frost troll. And from how they're acting, if you were hurt as well, they might be laughing at you too.
That's rude.
Rude, but you get the sense they wouldn't do anything to you maliciously. It seems like they're just an impartial observer and just getting their icicles off, just laughing at pain. At the pain of this frost troll in particular.
Well, just stay out of Muerte's way, because that's kind of where pain resides.
You don't have to tell me twice. Villain just kind of looks over the wall again while writing some notes down in her book. Oh, by the way, and she kind of steps forward, do you know the properties that you can harvest from that troll? No? None of you?
No. Nope. Can't say I do.
Well,
I suppose we could get its tusks and do like we did with the saber-tooth cat.
well, yes, but specifically what I'm talking about is the heart, actually. If you harvest a frost troll's heart, you can gain some of their power, some of the research that I've heard tell. Let me see, what was the specifics again? Oh. From my memory, should you eat the heart of a frost troll, you gain its ability to regenerate.
Well, I'm not gonna do that.
Book is already pulling out a knife.
What's the
And
price?
ability.
Price? Well, you'd be eating a heart of a frost troll. I can't imagine it's a pleasant thing.
Oh, I have to. Okay. So this is knowledge I have out of character, and I want to ask if Hawks knows about the frost giant variant that has done exactly this and gone unpleasant. This is something that I think Hawks might have some knowledge of.
Which in particular are you referring to?
The frost giant variant from, was it in
Oh,
Mordenkainen's?
I know what you're talking about. To your
It's in
roll,
Horrible Oberon.
roll. Go ahead and roll for me in a history arcana check, Hawks. Let's see what you know.
We should feed it to Muerte.
And Muerte has not actually eaten anything yet. She's like
Smacking it.
she's like a hippo. She just kills. She doesn't actually eat.
Okay, so Hawks obviously has not heard anything about this.
Yeah.
I mean, should we like generally make checks for
Yeah,
it?
I'll let the rest of you make checks as well. Go ahead. Let's make this a group check. Why not?
Could I just
I
help
remember.
Hawks?
This is an individual thing. This isn't really something you can help with, unfortunately.
I remember what you're talking about. We fought one of those in the
Yeah.
Lyceum campaign.
Fitting that the bard would know a little bit about history. You have heard of scales, of frost giants who, in trying to get a little bit more strength to overthrow their chieftains, consume the flesh of frost trolls, and perhaps even try and gain the favor of Vaprak, god of the trolls, in order to gain the vitality and strength of the troll that they consume. This works for the most part, although you've heard tales of it going awry, and their treachery and barbarism has been discovered, in which case they are exiled. And those, well, there's no initial cost to this, but you heard tales of repeated eating of troll flesh has caused frost trolls to become just irredeemable, just incorrigible monsters. Monsters with multiple limbs, multiple heads, often mirroring the frost trolls that they consume. From this, you've also heard tales of eating a frost troll's heart. Eating the heart itself, as long as you don't do it too much, the effects will just last for 24 hours. And it'll just go away on its own. So as long as you don't repeatedly consume frost troll flesh, you should be fine.
All good things, take it in moderation.
All good in moderation. Actually, with the 15, you would also learn something else. If buried in the ground under a foot more of earth, you've heard stories that the heart will melt away and summon a blizzard, such as that would be created by a powerful spell. Not that you'd want that, considering blizzards are this group's bane of existence, but, the more you know.
Considering that I'm hurt here, maybe I'll take that heart and have a little munch.
I would not object to eating the heart of that which I slew. Morte chimes in. But do what you wish.
I mean, does it still work if I split it? We could split it.
From what I know, you'd have to eat the... Well, actually, hold on. I have to check my notes here. One moment. Hang on. That's a good point. I just looked at the rules.
I have a feeling this is not the last one we'll come across, so...
That is true.
We're thinking like, is that why there's been so many blizzards? Someone's just been
just a rapid depopulation of the ice trolls.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. No, okay, so it says that a creature that eats the heart gains the ability to regenerate for the next 12 hours, so... I will say only 2 people can split it between themselves. So this isn't really something you can, like, split between a whole party, but I'll say at least 2 creatures can gain this benefit.
Is this like a permanent benefit or a?
No, it lasts 24
like
hours and then it goes away.
Ah.
It's a temporary benefit.
Seems less interested now.
Muerte will just sort of tilt her head in your direction, Hawks. It is your decision, and I will follow it.
Well, if you don't mind, I'd like to take the moment to patch up, so...
Very well. Then I shall take the first bite. And she will just go over in that direction and just start chomping down. She will use her beak to slice the heart out of the chest of the creature. Let me see how effective that is. Surprisingly effective. She slices it out with her own beak with surprising precision. And she will, as she cuts the heart out, she, almost like a guillotine, just slaps her head down and chops the heart directly in half. And she eats 1/2 of the heart.
Fox will take the other half, and in his currently giant form will just snap it up in one go.
All right. As you sort of eat the heart, you feel your wounds start to heal. And so every 6 seconds, you regain 5 hit points. And so obviously this comes with the... so obviously, as it is part of the Frost Troll, this trait won't function if you take any acid or fire damage, but it doesn't do anything more to you besides that.
Well, I really just wanted it to patch up to full for the time being, so I am perfectly content with that.
All right, which it will certainly do on its own. You all just watch as Hawks' wounds just all start to seal up on their own.
Hey, that's pretty nifty. I could see how someone might get addicted to it, but yeah, let's not have that happen.
Interesting. I've never actually seen it done in person. Fascinating. And Villain will start jogging down some more notes. Do you feel any side effects at all? Any?
Aside from the awful taste, I think I'm good.
Good. She'll start just writing down. Eventually, Osopo will just kind of perch on the wall and just sort of gesture towards the northwest. Had enough of its laughing fit, as it were. But of course, I assume at this point you will try and hitch Savage's body to Muerte's saddle.
We should at least make sure nothing else comes along and eats it after we leave.
So, how will you do? What will you do? Any thoughts?
Well, I'm blowing a blank here, honestly. So, go ahead.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that our magical friend would have some idea of where the special thing she's looking for is.
When we get kind of close to where it is, I can use this spell to try to look for it. But
I was specifically asking like if you had got any idea to prevent anything bad happening to Savage, but in that case,
well,
go ahead.
Oh,
if he's frozen solid, we want to provide some sort of bracing, like if his legs are slightly spread, or if his arms are spread or something. We want to provide some sort of bracing so that there isn't like pressure applied to the outside doesn't cause them to snap together.
I've got a winter blanket.
That could work if we like wrap him up, sort of.
Like bubble wrap.
Yeah, bubble wrap him a bit.
I've got a winter blanket as well.
Yeah,
I'll
That's good.
contribute
We could-
that. We'll wrap them up like we're shipping a TV. I mean, obviously we don't know what a TV is, but
Right,
You know.
it's like you're wrapping up a fine cheese. That's the only
Oh, marble
example I
stack.
could give.
a picture frame.
Picture frame.
That's something that
vase.
exists in setting that might be delicate to
a
ship.
painting.
So,
A
yes,
painting.
picture.
Yeah.
A painting or a vase. Some artwork. A statue, even.
Yeah, and so I'll say with that, easily enough, you can go ahead and wrap him in either one of your winter blankets, and you can
both.
you kind of strap him to the back of Muerte in such a way that you feel that there will be the least amount of pressure on the limbs, as they are kind of awkwardly extended out. So it is slightly difficult at first, but you do get the hang of it, and you do strap him down. So unless there's some sort of immediate problem like fireball or some other instance, you feel that he's pretty secure. And Muerte, very different from her bloodthirsty state, is very gentle when kneeling down and letting this happen upon her back.
All we've got to do is get it back to my friend with Angajuk, and it should be all right. I think.
It
'Cause
should.
she should be able to.
We might need to get like stuff for that one. That's right. I don't remember what that spell. Oh, what that spell costs.
Muerte will kind of look to the
It
ground.
sounds like it's expensive.
Think about it.
As much as I am loath to flee the sight of a challenge in battle, should I head back now? I know the way, just to prevent anything bad from happening. It's up to you. I will go wherever you want me to. But if we are to protect Savage's body, perhaps that would be best. And she kind
I
of
have
ruffles her
an idea.
feathers.
I have an idea. Let me look at something really quick.
Right? Muerte will patiently wait. As occasionally she steals a glance towards the body, or to the covered body of Savage.
I can send you on your way, invisible for an hour.
Yes, it didn't take us too long to get to where we are now. Yes, I could make it back if I move as fast as I can.
And that way, nothing will be able to challenge you.
Yes, I like that idea. Yes, do it. And she kind of gets very close to you. Give me the invisibility. Okay, you touch her on the kind of like the feathery like haunch, and just kind of lay out the blessing, and the form of Muerte vanishes. And you can still see her footprints deep in the snow. Very well. I will return as soon as I can, and she will start to depart back towards the docks. Despite that, I will still use Muerte's token as a
Just signify our group, yeah.
to signify where the group is. But for all intents and purposes, Muerte is heading back the way you came, back towards the dock.
Smart.
So that just leaves to your next task, which Velen at this point just kind of steps up. Well, as for what I'm looking for, first order of business is the Professor Orb, which is still in the possession of one corpse of Miss Nas Lantamir, which our good friend, kind of makes like little air quotations, is going to guide us to.
Did the corpse not get moved over here?
She kind of looks around. I didn't see her body here. Apparently it's still further up to the northwest, closer near the crash site.
Right. Lead on, friend.
You see the method just start to giggle to itself and just kind of give a slight bow, and its icy little wings just starts flittering up into the air, and it kind of makes its way. So, you all continue onward. Now we'll reveal more of the map here. if Polygon Reveal will help me here. There we go. All right. As you go along this pathway right here, some of you will actually have to step a little bit farther from the cliff's edge that now becomes apparent to you in the now kind of like lessening fog. Occasionally you'll steal glances down the edge to a massive 50-foot drop down plunging into the icy waters below. And the wind on the island picks up slightly and snowdrifts begin to flow by you. As you're all walking along, I would like you all to make survival checks for me. And Scales has advantage on this check.
And once again, I have to double check and see if any of my runes actually apply to that, because
You need to make a list of all of your advantage things, and then
you know,
them
that
in
gets
one
discussed
sheet.
every single time, and my brain never quite gets around to actually making it happen.
You should do it while we're doing stuff today.
That's all good. Whenever is convenient for you, just go ahead and do that. 20 for Meepo. Scales is a 19. 12. Okay, very good all around. So,
rocks.
this makes sense, especially for Scales as well. But for pretty much everyone here, you begin to notice a set of 6 footprints that you immediately recognize, Scales, as Yeti footprints that are heading in an eastward direction that go in the direction of kind of like where the mountains in the center of the island starts to incline, but it kind of goes a little bit past the fortress, directly straight, seems to go straight east, and then slightly turns to the south. Seems it's walking away from your destination, but it is something that you notice as you're walking along.
Hey guys, there's more Yeti kinds further east, so we might keep an eye out for that. Maybe.
Oh, they call.
Yeah, let's say about 6 sets of footprints. You think?
Oh boy, that's a lot of idiots.
Quite a few of them, yeah. Yeah, judging, I'll give you a little bit more insight to that, Scales. It's clearly a family of Yetis as well. You do see one smaller set that does appear to be similar to the Tyke set of footprints, but a bit larger, perhaps a juvenile rather than a direct baby. Definitely appears to be a family unit.
Okay.
Alright, so that's just something you notice, unless you wish to follow up on that. But in any other case, you will continue on your way, guided by the ice method. Alright, and as you make your way up this direction, what is everyone's passive perception?
15.
15?
Oh, it's not good. It's 14 for me.
12.
14, 12. Okay.
12 for Scales.
Okay, so for everyone below 15 passive perception, I would like you to make your own personal perception check.
Interesting. What do my bold eyes see? Nothing.
Okay, 7, 11. Alrighty. Alright, so Scales, Skanuk, and Hux, as you're walking along, you suddenly hit a patch of ice that was kind of hidden by a snowbank, and you all kind of and you all just kind of fall on your butts. And you hear a devilish laughter coming from the ice of it. just starts kind of slapping the snow and rolling around. It's like it's tumbling forward in a way. It's like just rolling down a snowbank in the direction that you're supposed to go while still laughing. Well, he's
This thing doesn't understand common, right?
correct. So yeah, he's just laughing. He's just laughing and laughing, and the owl that is perched on Valin's shoulder just puffed up and starts flying. It leaves Valin's shoulder and starts flapping over that direction. It just starts it can attack the ice method, but it just starts flapping and getting in its face, and it just starts. The ice method just goes and they just kind of start chasing each other. And Velen just kind of looks towards you all, and just kind of shrugs her shoulders. Well, he's certainly a character. No, well, I wouldn't bite the hand that feeds us here, but truthfully, if he no longer serves a purpose, I don't object, but she kind of shrugs. That's your decision.
If we cooked a creature made of ice, wouldn't he just melt?
Yes, he would actually melt into a little puddle. That is the nature of most elementals, yes.
I don't know if I was going to cook him, but a little bit of violence on this person was being considered.
I wouldn't do anything unless he does something to actively harm us. I mean, he is helping us, and he might be helpful later. So.
Oh, all right.
I know it's frustrating. That's kind of a funny word. Frustrating.
Once again, of course, Bowser coming in.
Off.
Yeah, coming in full force. My beautiful dog just snoring away, not a care in the world.
Not a good boy.
Not a good boy. In any case, though, eventually the method is not chased anymore by Valin's familiar, and you continue on your way. And eventually, you do see, on the edge of the cliff, a shipwreck that has kind of wedged itself right into the side of the cliff. The mast has broken off, and currently is just hitting the side of the cliff. Right, just so that someone could conceivably climb up and make their way onto land. And that is about, probably you'd say, maybe 100 or so feet away for the most part, but you can kind of look over from the angle where you are currently. It's kind of has a bit of a downward slope. But Valin is the one who picks this up first, because it is her object. You notice, peeking out from the snow, a human hand reaching up towards the sky, clutching a spherical object.
Well, looks like I didn't have to use the spell to find it.
Yep.
Was that all we were looking for? That little thing?
Psychic for me.
We were also going to come here before we even met her. What were we going to do? We were just scouting the place out, right?
I don't remember.
I think so. I think the intent was to... I don't know. It seemed like a good idea, because we know this is where the Frostmaiden lives.
Well, remember, the orb is not the only thing that we're here for as well.
Were we?
Oh, it's not.
Yeah, the orb
I don't remember the other thing.
Well, the orb is merely a personal item that also provides great information, not unlike myself. But we're also here for the Codicil of White, the book written in the Frostmaiden's own hand. The one that, no doubt, is being kept, if I was to hazard a guess, she kind of points towards the fortress, that little place of, want to stay far away from that, but I'm guessing it's in there. That's just my guess.
You know, we got Savage's body, and I completely blanked on anything else that was important.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the reason we were talking about coming here earlier is we were throwing around the idea of assassinating the bird so she couldn't fly around anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if we're.
Which was a very optimistic plan.
Very
I don't know if we're
optimistic,
ready
but
for
a
that
plan.
kind of thing. Anyway, she's gone with it.
Yeah.
She'd have to be here for us to do that.
Yeah, true. That is quite true. And not to mention that that'd be, I believe the druid, yeah, she kind of shudders, mentioned that she would be back by morning, or at least a few hours before morning.
Yeah, we've got a time limit here.
I should really make something to check.
We have a decent amount of time. It's only been, what, an hour, 2 hours? Still have plenty of time before dawn.
Okay, let's rob the tower.
How long has it taken for us to get here from the place where we fought the troll?
Approximately at this point, from the distance you traveled, I'd say about an hour and 40 minutes.
Okay. So that would mean that the invisibility is done.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant from here to the docks. I'm so sorry.
No, I said from the place where we fought the troll.
Okay, no. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Again, I misheard. My apologies. In that case, that would have been about 30 minutes. About 30 minutes. So there's still a bit of more of the invisibility going on.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, let's not waste any time, shall we? And Villain will start kind of walking towards the body.
Yeah, is there anything like around?
Oh, I thought she'd already picked it up.
No, she the body was still a little ways away, but she is the one who noticed it first. The body's like probably like maybe 50 or so feet away. But she does start walking towards it.
Watch out for like holes in the ground or stuff.
Oh, please, what's the worst that could happen? And as she kind of says that, a tiny little head pops out of the snow next to where the corpse is. A tiny little weasel with fur as white as the snow that it's coming out of. And these beady little black eyes, these big puffy whiskers, just stares at Villain as she approaches. Ugh! Oh, well. I know you. You're interesting. This
Interesting about it.
Well, this weasel is... I've seen this weasel before. This is Lantimir's familiar. But that's odd. Usually a familiar... Well, when a creature... Well, when a caster... perishes, shall we say, usually a familiar will depart not too long after. And yet, here I see what I believe to be Miss Lantimir's body...
She's not
Does
dead.
that mean she's not dead?
She kind of looks towards the frozen corpse. She slowly kind of like, not with her hands, but with her boots, she just kind of slightly slowly kicks a little bit of the snow off of the corpse, and you see a preserved, but clearly very dead Meepo body, even with the 8.
Yes.
No, she's dead.
Ye gods! I was afraid no one would find us! You hear a tinny voice coming from somewhere. Ah, Professor Scant, of course I would never forget you. Ah, Mr. Lynn, I'm so delighted to see you again. Oh, I thought I would never, well, I can't really see in the typical sense, but you know what I mean. Oh, it's so good to hear your voice, my girl. Yes. Should I retrieve you, Professor? Oh, if you would be so kind, I would be delighted. Very well. And you'll watch as Villain starts to kind of like pry the orb from the fingers that are kind of frozen over the orb. So let me roll something here. Yes?
Hmm.
Yes? Yes? Yes?
I'll wait. Oh,
Okay.
I thought. Oh, wait.
She grabs the orb, and she is trying to be delicate about it. And yet, in trying to be delicate, she slips on a patch of ice, and the whole hand cracks off along with the orb. Oh, unfortunate. And she will take a knife from her belt and start prying the clutched fingers off the orb. As she does that, I need to check something. You will all kind of feel the air kind of shudder around you. Sorry, I'm trying to. As the DM, I'm supposed to be composed, but I can't. Another
It's
natural
always
one.
nice. Just the cackling sounds.
Oh, what a lovely night! What a lovely night! All right, so here's what happens. As Velen begins prying the fingers from the orb, you all kind of watch as the snow around where the corpse is begins to slowly drift to the side. Almost as if there's some invisible force moving in Villain's direction. And Villain suddenly kind of stiffens and then relaxes. And then she continues prying the fingers from the orb.
Is the movement like still occurring, like approaching her, or did it stop? So
As soon as she stiffened and continued with her movements, the movement that happened with the snowdrift is gone. It is stopped completely.
There's something wrong with her?
You can roll an insight check if you wish. Alrighty. 16.
14 on my insight.
14. Something's not right.
I have a feeling that ghost guy followed us here.
Please, I have no idea to what you're referring to. And with that,
a really weird way of saying that. You know what? That's like the most possessed way of phrasing that you could have gone with.
I'd like to insight that.
you may sure go ahead and insight
I
that.
have advantage.
You
because
do?
of the stone rune.
This I know for a fact you have advantage on.
It's the one thing that I'll remember directly that I have advantage on.
With a 14,
Insight.
her cadence and manner of speech is just completely shifted, and the fact Skanuk, Meepo, and Hux, you've seen this happen before. You've seen this happen with the leader of the kobolds in Tourmaline Mine. Most likely, there is some sort of possessioning happening here, because you've seen this happen before. So something is completely off, and no manner of trying to persuade you is easing your minds right now. And Scales, for you in particular, yeah, something is completely off with this person. She is speaking completely differently. Something's off. What are you all staring at? It's me, Harpel.
Did that
What is,
take you a moment to remember your name?
There's a pause.
Oh, see?
All right,
Got him.
All right, look. Just don't shoot. All right, just hear me out, okay?
Honestly, you're already a little bit more pleasant than she was, but yeah.
I know, right? She is just... Well, she's not the worst, but she is just so difficult to deal with sometimes. Just so more secretive than she needs to be. Let me tell you, I am a much better person to work with. And I'm not saying that to toot my own horn here, but
Are you the one whose hand is sticking out of the snow over there?
Yes. She just kind of looks down towards the hand. It's a bit... It's quite an experience, let me tell you, to remove your own hand from your body. It's not pleasant. It's not pleasant, let me tell you. And I'm experiencing a little bit of... Is it vertigo or perhaps just an intense moment of existential crisis at this moment? I'm not sure which is which.
I can understand that.
But it's so nice to meet you. Perhaps it could have been under better circumstances, but yes, I am Nas Lantamir. Unlike Miss Harpel over here, my own master of divination. Even though she specializes in necromancy and likes to pretend that she knows divination, I am much better at it. And overall, more pleasant to hang around. At least I like to think so. But yes, I am in fact deceased. No thanks to this island and the icebergs that are surrounding it, which is why our ship crashed. Tell me, am I, Well, no, that's too hopeful. If I'm dead, then surely the rest of them are dead as well. That's unfortunate. You see the form kind of wincing.
Your weasel's alive.
Who was alive?
The weasel?
Weasel. Oh! Zelenor! And she kind of crouches down and the weasel just kind of sniffs, kind of like winces for a second, but recognizes something and kind of darts up the shoulder to the opposite side of where the owl is, who is not having a good time at all. The feathers of the owl are all floofed up and currently is edging away from the shoulder, as looking back towards you, back to the now possessed villain, then back to you, and does not know how to handle the situation. Oh, I missed you. You've been hanging around. Oh, no. Oh. She just kind of hugs the little weasel. Oh, it's so good to see you, you poor little thing. Have you been here all alone? The weasel is just kind of like easing in and like kind of like nudging its head into the shoulder. And it's just getting chin scratches.
Yeah, now I know I like you better than, yeah.
All this time, there's a bit of silence, and then you hear, oh dear. Well, this isn't the reunion that I hoped for. Hello again, Miss Lantamir. Yes, hello, Scant. I'm sorry. I know you wanted to be reunited with your master, but I'm afraid you're gonna have to hang with me a little bit longer. Is that all right? I suppose, my lady. Oh, I'm so sorry, Scant. No, it's all right. I'm used to disappointment. Really now. No, it's fine. You just can't help it hear the sass coming from this inanimate, well, partially animate object.
Is there a particular reason you don't like this one over the other one, Mr. Professor, sir?
Well, not in particular. Well, I was in the possession of the Harper family for generations, and, well, it was quite comfortable being... Well, I don't like change very much. And, being stolen is quite a serious change, if I do say so myself.
So she stole you?
Well, yes, I did. But there's a very good reason for that. And that's that I don't like Miss Harpel.
That's not a very good reason to steal something from someone.
Yes, but it's Miss Harpel, though. You don't know her like I do. She is just completely horrible to be around. She may have been nice to you to get what she wants, but that's what she does. She likes to go around, likes to think, this will be beneficial for both of us. Well, what happens? Oh, sure, she'll keep her end of the bargain, but, that's all she'll do. She won't do anything nice favors for you. She'll just be so cold and heartless to you. In fact, if you died, she wouldn't even care. If you died, I would care. You can go ahead and insight that if you want.
I was trying to do it myself.
Don't know if it'd be entirely.
Okay, 17. Ooh, yeah, 21. Very nice, very nice.
Joke's on you. Nobody actually cares when a kobold dies. Nobody.
Kobolds
Oh.
do. Eldath does. I think.
Okay, 21,
Pretty sure.
17, 10. Hawks, did you want to make an insight check as well, or are you good?
Yes, I did. I just started fiddling with the advantage slider and got distracted.
Oh, good. Okay. Oddly enough, she's not being she's not being untruthful. You get there is that sense of like, you know, that not quite revulsion, but like having difficulty taking you seriously, and there is a bit of there's definitely some interest in seeing kobolds who are so well armed and so clearly like well experienced in her, and clearly in her experience she's probably never met like a kobolds like you before, so it seems like she's trying to come to terms with it quickly, and she's being very nice about it. Although there is still that sense like with you, Scales, you're not sure if she would care if you died, but she's at least trying to seem like she is. And that's not out of like a means to deceive you necessarily, if that makes sense.
More of deceiving herself.
In a way.
She's trying to treat us like she would treat normal people, but she's having trouble because she's not
She
used
would
to
like to
doing
care.
that.
She would like to care if we die.
Yes, she would like to care. But yeah, so, well, I suppose I'll have to get used to this. And she just kind of like gestures towards Villain's body.
What happens if you stay like that for too long?
Well, nothing happens to me or Villain. Let's see, I've done studies on this before. As long as I'm not ousted by either this body falling unconscious, well, not necessarily unconscious, but like through damage. If someone knocked Villain's body out, I would be ousted. That much I know. But Villain's body is not in any danger of dying as long as I'm possessing her, I don't think. This is my first time being a ghost, so new for me, can I just say. Well, I suppose I'll just have to get used to her. Oh, wait! Yeah, she kind of looks down. That means I get her spellbook. Yes! Oh, what little secrets do you have, Lynn? And she just kind of starts flipping through the spellbook. Oh, that reminds me. Where's my spellbook? She just kind of starts looking around.
How long
probably on
ago
your
did
body.
you die?
Time is a little bit wonky when you're kind of trapped on a frozen, near timeless island. Best guess? I'd say maybe a month? Maybe? I feel like it's been a month.
What do you know about the Coda seal?
The code is interesting. She kind of like looks towards you, Meepo. So that's what she has you after. That means, okay. That means they couldn't. That means the rest of the team couldn't get in. Interesting.
Get into what?
The glacier. I'm sure you.
Well-
How much has Velen told you?
We know that there might be something in the glacier that can help us defeat the Frostmaiden, and that the
Apparently there's,
Codicil
like-
is the way of getting in.
Yeah, there's some about a lost city full of treasure, which I am very much interested in.
I think Hawks is interested in that too.
Yes, the lost city of Yithrin, an ancient nethery city which, according to texts that we recovered, apparently was a city that flew across the skies like the great rocks did in the great age of Astoria. But due to some accident, it plummeted into the glacier. Of course, at that time it probably wasn't as grand as it is now, but it became frozen into the ice. Around 2,000 years ago from our records, if they showed. Oh, let's see here. Verlin. Interesting that Verlin was by herself. What happened to the other members?
Well,
Kind of split up.
Avarice is something. Some is hanging out somewhere.
Making a
I don't
cult.
know. Oh yeah, there was a cult. Yeah,
She made a
and the,
cult in one of the towns. Goodmead? No, not Goodmead. North of that.
yeah, one of them, and then Dazan is dead. Dazan is dead. He got burned at the stake.
Of course
Yeah.
he did. Oh, she just kind of like, her palm just kind of hits her head. He was always too arrogant. He was always like, oh, you have to obey me or I'll kill you. Like, oh, always so dramatic. Never trust a red wizard. Always so demanding. So predictable. But Avarice
Were
leading
there
a
others?
cult. That I did not expect, but oh my gosh, it makes sense. She always had that weird cult leadery personality, you know? Always had that kind of like that weird, oh, everything will make sense, like in the end, like without really telling you what's going on, you know? Oh, she was a bit more nice to be around, but
I've not ever met a cult leader before, so I don't know actually.
well, neither have I. So it'd be new for both of us.
You have now, since
Well-
Avarice is one.
Well, I didn't know her when she was a cult leader.
How do you know? Maybe it was a secret cult.
She kind of puts her finger up as if to say something to object, but then she kind of puts the finger back to her chin. Oh, maybe. She was always very secretive. And I did.
Anyway, I think that's beside the point.
Well, no, it is beside the point, but now I'm curious. No, she always did have an interest in the Nine Hells. She was always talking about Levistus too, but I always thought it was just an academic research. I never exactly expected her to be a cult leader, but I guess she's, well, if it's with Levistus, I suppose that would make sense. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting off track. Well, since I'm here now, did you have any questions for me?
What do you know about the Codicil besides the fact that it's got something to do with that glacier?
Well, I happen to know for a fact, using my magic, that it is located, and she points towards the fortress, it is located in a vault deep below that fortress. Somewhere in there. Apparently, that fortress was created by the Frost Giants long ago. Clearly, it's not run by them any longer, but you can tell by the architecture that it's ancient Frost Giant design. As for the Codicil itself, well, from our research, which I admit I did steal a couple notes from Villain. Apparently, the Codicil of White contains a spell or a ritual which can open passages in places that the Frostmaiden never wanted people to go. And if my guess is correct, that's the place that we were trying to get in, the Reggae Glacier. To my knowledge, there is some sort of cave system deep below the glacier that might lead to the Lost City. Of course, that's our best guess, but that's what we've come to understand. As for the island itself, I would suggest we get a move on before the dawn comes. I suppose you might already know that if you're here. Did you know that? Because we didn't know that. And let me tell you, we crashed because of the ice, but I have very unfond memories of being, well, not me personally, but I remember as I expired and was hiding, one of the crew members being plucked up like a mouse, like 200 feet to the sky, and then dropped into the ocean below. Not a pleasant sight, let me tell you. So if you see the bird, don't get caught. Please do not get caught. Very bad things will happen. Probably being dropped from very high heights, probably onto either land or in the ocean. All bad things.
I see. Good to know.
Right.
So, are you planning on helping us get the Codicil?
Well, I do actually. It was one of my it was my mission, so yes, I would.
Is what's her face awake in there?
Oh, she's, I suppose you could say, asleep at the moment. I am in control, though.
Whose spells can you cast?
That is a very good question. Velen and I had a similar method of spellcasting, so I suppose let me check her book actually.
We should get walking while we're talking.
No, right. Do you mind if I would certainly like to look around first for my spell book. Hold on.
Oh, you didn't find it yet?
Well, no,
Well,
you asked me questions, But hold on, let me do a little search around. She'll kind of
help.
go ahead. What were we
I'm
gonna
helping.
say? Oh, you're helping.
I'm
Gotcha.
helping her.
All right. Ooh, yeah. That was very good that you did. She rolled okay, but that definitely helped her out. Let's see. I was running. I dropped around here. Oh, there it is. And she just kind of pushes the snow from a very nice looking vellum book. Well, now I have 2 spell books. It's a very good day for Miss Lantimere.
I see.
All right. I'd have to start describing my books at some point. But no, yeah, you're very correct. Walk and talk. Walk and talk. And she will start kind of leading the way.
I have a question for you.
Oh, by all means, go ahead.
If it hadn't been her, if it hadn't been someone you knew was an asshole, would you still have possessed him?
Probably. All right. If I'm being completely honest, I probably would have possessed whoever touched the orb. Might be I kind of was a little bit asleep, quote unquote. So whoever would have touched the orb, I probably would have possessed them first, or tried to at least. So, no offense, of course.
Can I insight the part that's downplaying how deliberate I guess it would be?
Sure, go ahead and make another insight check. 17. She's truthful for the most part, although she's trying to butter you up a little bit, but there's definitely was maybe a not so much whoever was the closest, or maybe who was the more convenient one, probably. Perhaps whoever was the least charismatic, shall we say, or the least likely to resist. You can tell she has a good eye, and she's clearly very smart. So even in her ethereal state, she might pick up on who has the lower charisma stat to possess, shall we say.
I am genuinely impressed that Velen has a lower charisma stat than Snuck.
Was Hawks able to see her when she was in her ethereal state, or is that a different plane she was on and then she jumped in?
Hawks was a little bit too far away for that, and plus she might have been on a different plane. It kind of happened a little bit quickly, so it's difficult to say.
Right.
He definitely didn't sense anything, though.
I also probably wouldn't have been able to sense her if she was lurking in her body or whatever, buried in the snow.
Right. You do make it, of course, past that wall again. Of course, at this point in time...
Yetis in this area.
What'd you say? I'm so sorry, Meep. I talked over
Watch
you.
for Yetis in this area.
Are there Yetis here? Fascinating. I've never actually seen a Yeti up close. Not that I'd like to, mind you, but...
Many. Severals. We have a baby one.
You have
It's a very
Oh my...
aromatic experience.
You have a type?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Caleb.
I was raised by Yetis.
There's a solid pause.
He's the one taking care of the tack right now.
Raised?
I say something like a full-on sentence in Yeti.
I'll have to take your word for it. I don't speak Yeti. But that is absolutely fascinating. Should we make it through this, I would love to do a little bit of a research paper on you. Well, if I still manage to maintain this body, well, we'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it. But that is absolutely fascinating. And you never, You're standing before me. Who taught you the common tongue if you were raised by Yetis? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh, I just picked it up as I was after the Yeti tribe I was with. Just kind of up and abandoned me. I did some wandering and I found another kobold clan, and they died as is our tradition, I suppose, and just kind of hid out and picked up on languages as I came along. But I am most proficient in Common and Yeti and Beast.
That is, if you don't mind me saying, very tragic. But it'll make for a good research paper.
I didn't know that.
Through the magic of music I found, I can actually communicate with just about any race, regardless of the language.
I see. So you're, I see, so you're that type of spellcaster. I see. She just kind of scribbles a couple notes. Interesting. And still, of course, you're still all this time walking and talking. Of course, while you're in the process of that, I would like everyone to make Constitution saving throws for me. As the wind begins to pick up, and the cold kind of gets around and kind of gets into everywhere. Except for Skinnock. You're fine.
Oh.
I always forget
Why do artificers get proficiency in con saves, the little things?
Because of all the explosions that happen around here.
Fair enough.
Okay, let's see here. Yeah, so it is a Constitution save. Okay. So for Hux, Meepo, and Scales, you all have a point of exhaustion as the cold kind of seeps into your very bones. But you continue on your way. So mark down that you have a point of exhaustion as you continue. As you get up to right here, you do notice where the path begins to curve in such a way that it goes upward towards the fortress.
Who has the exhaustion?
So the ones who have exhaustion right now are Hux, Meepo, and Scales. And not Villain. Well, I suppose if we were to make our way up this quite vast staircase, we would reach our destination. I don't suppose... Well, you're looking rather tired right now. It's
don't
difficult.
have time for much of a rest.
Indeed. That is very unfortunate.
Wow. If we were to... It's a bit risky, but if we were to go aboard Angajuk, we could maybe submerge for the day and come back up when the sun went down.
Angajuk?
Yep, he's a whale.
Angajuk's a friend. He's a whale.
Good friend. Nice guy.
How did you get here if not using Angajuk?
Oh, I took a ship. The water eddy. Decent ship, a little bit smelly, but, it's a good crew. And, well, she kind of gestures, well, you see the ship that was near where my body was? That was the water eddy.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, I did pay in advance. Well, it's a shame I don't know what their families are because, well, I'm sure they would like to know what happened to them.
Well, that just means we have to make it back so we can pass it on.
Right, I remember getting off, the ship came from Luskin. Made its way up, actually came from Luskin directly. I have not traveled to... Actually, no, we did make a pit stop near... There was that prison. what's it called? Revel's End for supplies, but never actually traveled most of the tundra, actually. But in any case, if you think it's a better idea to head back towards the whale, I suppose that's where we should head.
I mean, everyone else is exhausted, aren't they?
Indeed, it would be a bit of a fool's errand to continue on as it is.
Fair enough. Let's go ahead and see if we can't do a reset. Maybe
Very well.
connect back with Morte.
Right, maybe we can figure out if Savage has been revived. Oh, you know what? Maybe we should grab...
I'll grab it when the time comes. That time may be now, it might not be now. I cannot reveal.
I mean, like out of character, this I assume has only been between Caleb and Evan, but I don't know if the intention is for Savage to
I haven't
rejoin.
talked to Caleb about this yet because it hasn't. He has provided the table, but I haven't. It's not coming up just yet, shall we say?
Right.
I was about to say maybe we should grab your body.
Well, it's a bit late for that, but it should be fine. Should be fine.
I know some people. I happen to be a priest of Eldath, and I have some connections.
Oh, well, I suppose if you're going to send me off... He kind of looks towards each and every one of you. Which one of you has, like... do any of you know anything about explosives?
Ed snaps towards Skinner.
Yeah, we all just glance.
I want to go out with a bang.
Well, I didn't mean sending you off necessarily, but if that's what you want.
I think it'd be funny. I mean, to be fair, I don't know how long I'm going to be in this body, and, well, I have no use for my old one, so... Sure, why not? I think it'd be funny.
But I was saying maybe we could just bring you back to your old one.
Oh! Actually bring... Oh. You can do that?
Well, not me personally, not yet, but I know some people.
Right, but such sorry, getting used to the mouth muscles. Having trouble moving them occasionally. She's fighting back just a tad. That something of that magnitude would require quite expensive materials. Are you sure you have such things on hand?
Well, I don't, but who knows?
We could acquire some.
If you do, I'm not opposed to it. But if you can't,
I know who to talk to.
I know who to talk to, and she looks towards you, Skanuk, and kind of makes like finger guns, or finger crossbows, rather.
Yep.
But yes, we should, like I said, walk and talk.
Skanuk can do finger guns because he has a gun.
Is this true?
He does actually have a gun.
Guns. I have several guns.
That's right, because you retrieved it from the
Some of them are aliens.
the ship, yeah. All right, but eventually. Sorry, go ahead.
When we were over at the body, did anybody pick up the lady's hand?
You didn't say, so I'm going to assume no.
Yeah. It's probably still there.
It will most likely still be there.
Well, somebody eats it.
No, it probably won't be there. That's what I'm thinking. Somebody's going to eat it.
Well, to be fair, I can't say whether that's true or not, but I will say the hand was there when you found it, and she's been there for approximately a month, so that's like if that is any assurance at all, I guess.
You did kill one of the things that was eating them.
Indeed you did. Eventually, though, you do make your way back to the docks. Currently, Angajuk is not there at the moment. Kind of look around in the water. Angajuk, as well as Rhiannoch, are currently not there. So you'll have to wait a little bit before they return.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, they did tell you they were going to make rounds around the island, just to make sure that in case the rock did return, they were on the move, so not to attract too much attention under the water. As well as to scout out several ships that were dotting the island, just in case. But you do wait for a little while, which means you do have some time to ask Nas if you have any more questions. Sorry, ask her if you ask her anything at all if you wish, or if you were satisfied, you can just go in and wait. Sorry, I think I need a little bit of water. Pause just for a moment.
I don't know that there's anything particular that Fox would ask.
Fair enough, fair enough.
So, what were you originally doing with that group?
Well, truth be told, I wasn't originally meant to be on the team. She kind of winces a little bit. I sort of snuck in and tried to get a mention or two once I heard about the mission. And then once I, well, got the information I needed, I split off. Not very nice, I know, but look, let's be honest here. I was dealing with a bunch of assholes, and I did not want any of them getting the credit for this. They're just very not nice people.
So you were trying to discover this city
On my own,
and
yes.
using their studies, and you were gonna claim it on your own.
Well, when you put it like that, that sounds kind of awful, but...
And you're calling them the ones that are unpleasant?
Well, they are unpleasant to be around.
Well, that doesn't make that any more pleasant. Stealing someone's research is rude.
Well, it's not as if I did a little bit on my own, but... Okay, I admit it, I wanted a little bit of glory, but what's wrong with that?
You should at least credit them. Somewhat.
I suppose I might have... I suppose I should. Since Zahn is at least gone, I should definitely put him in there somewhere. Oh, in honor of Zahn, just in the credits somewhere in the back of the book. I'd put a link in the description.
I'm giving her a hard judgment stare.
What?
Meepo's disappointed mom look.
She does kind of squirm a little bit under the gaze.
And then I'm gonna sigh and go, well... That's not my business, so...
It isn't, but
Work it out with
it's
one
not...
you're possessing.
It's not wrong to ask, and... I suppose I'll try to be more open, and not... Well, I certainly won't try and steal anything from you all. You all seem actually quite nice, and if you don't mind me saying, I never expected kobolds to be quite so capable, or I suppose courageous, honestly.
Very consistent 17s.
She is being quite genuine right now, at least in her kind of like opening up towards you and your being kobolds. You get the sense that she's not being deceitful about, or lying rather, about, turning a new leaf. She's actually being quite genuine in that regard. It's not too much of a change in character, all that much, Skanuk, but you don't know if she'll change completely, but she'll at least try, partially out of guilt, perhaps. It's that kind of like, that a guilt only a mother could really give someone, and Meepo is giving that guilt hard right now. So if she has, on her own, you're not sure, but if under the guidance of someone like Meepo, maybe. But eventually...
Well,
go ahead, sorry.
if we're gonna help you find this city, then I expect to see our names somewhere in there too, at least.
Oh,
Particularly Hawks. Hawks is the one that's kind of the adventurer and wants his name out there and lots.
You know, she's got a point. I do want that.
Most certainly, if you're going to... I mean, if you're going to help me with this task, yes, I would most certainly credit you.
I think at this point it's more like you're helping us, though.
Well, she kind of blushes slightly. A bit weird since the blush is not coming from her own body, so it's a bit of a weird kind of thing there. Well, I wouldn't have a body to finish what I started if it wasn't for you, so you've done a lot for me, too. Granted, this is still very strange for me, being in someone else's body, so still a bit of learning to do. And while I'm learning, I might do some actual reading. She just kind of flips open her spellbook and starts kind of scribbling stuff in. Oh, if only I had some ink. Ah, well, it shouldn't matter too much. I'll at least try and decipher some of her theorems.
Does she have ink?
She does not have any, no.
Why not? Isn't she a wizard?
I'm a wizard, yes.
No, not you. Her the body you're in.
Oh, the body. You know what? Not in my things I hadn't actually checked. Hold on. Oh, she does, but it's not enough. Bah, I suppose she didn't expect to find any new spells on this godforsaken island. How short-sighted of you, Valin.
Wouldn't say it's forsaken.
I don't know, it looks pretty forsaken to me. I mean, look at this place.
Yeah, but this is where God lives.
Well, forsaken by good things, I should say.
Good forsaken, then.
If anything, it's got too much attention from one.
That we can both certainly agree on. But so you mentioned a whale. I don't see any sort of sign of this. A spray of seawater just erupts from the ocean. Ah,
I'm back.
I have returned. It is I, Angajuk.
Angajuk, I think next time you come up, you have to do it a little bit more carefully.
Oh.
I mean, this time it's fine, but when we're here, not being noticed is one of the things we're trying to do.
Yeah, the massive whale just kind of slowly kind of shirks to the side a little bit. Just kind of like sinks a little bit into the ocean. Well, I suppose I could do that. Still,
we're glad to see ya.
Still echoing a little bit, but trying to be quieter. It is good to see you. Good to see you too. And good to see you too. Rhiannoch, the druid, stands from the front of the ship that is donned by the giant sperm whale. I did quite a bit of scouting while we were around the island. So far, a lot of those ships, not a place you want to be going. Let me tell you. Seen some of them infested by some undead types. Some of them infested by living types, but not so nice types. Big old fishmen, harpoons, not very nice. Very unpleasant.
Oh.
Yeah, Mera, if I believe they're called. Corrupted merfolk, to my memory.
So that's where the survivors of Dugan's Hole got to.
Dugan's Hole? Oh, no. Oh, that's a terrible rumor. I've seen a couple members of Dugan's Hole. It's just a terrible birth defect. All due to inbreeding. Terrible thing.
I'm not convinced it's not fishmen.
I mean, alright, I haven't visited very long, but from what I can tell, I mean, there's clear signs in it. I mean, the ears, the teeth. I mean, I'm my educated, well, I don't really have an education, but from my experience, I would say inbreeding.
Inbred fishmen.
I can acknowledge that that's more likely, but I think that my aberration cult idea is funnier.
Well, for all our sakes, I hope that's not true.
Ryanak, before you get into the jabbing and the jiving,
Oh, I was about to.
yeah, I know.
Ain't that right, Miss Harpy?
This is not Miss Harpy.
What?
This is somebody else in Harpale's body. That somebody else happened to have died on this island. And for now, she's more pleasant than Harpale.
You
And is
actually
not
might get
harming her.
along with her.
Oh, hello. Yes, hi. I'm dead. Well, my name is Nas Lantamere. Pleasure to meet you. She kind of holds out a hand. There's just a, the silence is deafening. As Rionok looks at the outstretched hand, looks back at you, looks back at the Nas-possessed body of Harpel. Such strange times we live in. Well, you seem nice enough, Miss Nas. Pleasure's all mine. The two will shake hands. Well,
Ellen is probably just incredibly salty right now.
oh yeah, just the imprisoned spirit of Harpel is just rolling. Well, welcome aboard the Ongajuk. I'm your captain. And so, we'll be departing shortly. She just kind of gestures towards the boat. Oh, I suppose.
That's actually something we were maybe wanting to reconsider. See, we're here for partially the professor orb that Landspear here had, and partially
Indeed.
for something called the Codicil.
I'm still here. I'm just being very quiet.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, but there's also something called the Codicil of White, and we know where that is, but we're not really in a position to get it just at the moment. The guys here are kind of tuckered out from all the cold.
You're after the codicil. I think did you tell me that before?
I had thought so.
I'd hoped you could perhaps avoid going after it, but there's nothing wrong with the book itself, but if I know from what I know about the Frostmaiden, you're not going to be getting that easily, but I'm sure you already knew that.
Yeah. That's why we sort of brought up the idea of possibly submerging for the day and then coming back up when night fell.
Alright, well, it's still several hours till dawn. Should have some time. Aye, let's get quickly. Come on, let's go. She'll kind of pat the edge of the boat. I assume you all board.
Did you see our bird?
Oh, she's actually, yes, she's right in the back of the boat. She is
Oh, good.
Yeah, she is at the very end of the boat, and then because of the way that Angajuk is kind of angled, it's probably why you didn't see her at first. But currently it seems that clearly Rionok helped get Savage's body off of her. Savage is still frozen, still on like still kind of like in that pose. But he is still Savage. He's still a body. About that, I am able to bring him back, but it's gonna take a lot of material. I just so happened to have it when we met the last time, but I haven't had the time or really. I've been busy with other things. I haven't had. If I am going to cast a spell and bring him back from the land of the dead, I'm gonna need a lot of herbs and materials, and they're quite rare too. So it's gonna take a lot of doing on your parts.
Well, let us know what we can get, and we'll look for it.
We've got connections with the trading company.
That's true, we do.
We might have an avenue for getting it a little bit easier.
And we could also ask some of the friends we've made along the way. Some of them I think you're familiar with. Golden Antler one and a friendly werebear.
Ah, yes, I know of her. We've tussled a few times here or there. A right good soul that one is.
Yeah, she was friendly to us.
Yeah,
But if we see them, we'll ask them to help look around too.
Sure, well, it seems that you've got a few connections then. If you're not able to find it in the wilds, which, honestly, you probably won't find any of the herbs. If you can't find the herbs, you'll probably need some oils and some unguents. And they'll be quite expensive, although I don't know prices myself, but I can tell you what you need. And she will, because the spell itself doesn't say exactly what it requires, she does give you a list of oils and unguents. Go ahead and roll me, I'd say, history checks. To see if you know the exact price.
Cool. History checks. Let me use emboldening bond on Hawks, Skanuk, and myself.
Okay.
That's an extra D4.
Yeah.
So 23.
All right. I'll say, with all that, all of you,
18.
except maybe all of
19.
you except maybe Scales, you would know that materials like these would be extremely expensive. Probably around 1,000 gold pieces worth for each. You assume each individual cast.
And how much gold do we have on hand?
Not very much.
I've got about 100, I think.
I've got 60.
I've got 37.
There is also the treasure that you got from the fortress that you haven't determined the gold value of yet.
Right. I mean, I have also the white dragon scale.
That's also true.
And if we're gonna be stealing stuff from that,
Just gesture towards the ominous skull-faced fortress in the distance. Oh.
it's like that one skit where it's like the hole, right? That we just like switch to the skull fortress, and there's like screaming into this deep baw in the background.
like that kind of like throaty, kind of like guttural chant.
Ominous Latin chanting, except it's giant.
Well, shall we get down in Ongaju?
Yes, let's. And with that, you all will get on to Ongajuk's back, and you all will depart below the waves. And as such, let's see, depart below the waves, so yeah, you wouldn't see anything happening above the surface. So, in that case, you can go ahead and take a long rest. Of course, there will be some time after you take the long rest before it is nightfall again. During that time, of course, sorry, excuse me, pardon me. During that time, Miss Lantimir will actually kind of juggle, well, not juggle, but she'll just kind of like handle the orb that's in her hands. You know, if you'd like, you can go ahead and ask Professor Scant some questions, if you'd like. I'm sure he'd like the conversation.
The only thing I rolled for exhaustion after the Constitution save was that history check.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good, honestly. Since it was gonna be removed anyway, it's not too big of an issue. If you had like 2 levels of exhaustion, I might be more on that. But since it was going to be removed at this anyway, yeah, I'm not too worried about it.
And I rolled mine with disadvantage, so.
And you still rolled pretty well too.
I would still have had a 19, so we still would have probably gotten the information we got.
Yeah.
We avoided checks after that.
Indeed.
So I'm no longer exhausted.
Yep.
My spell slots are all restored.
Indeed. But of course,
Gain...
if you wish, you can ask Professor Scant some questions. If you wish.
We know what subjects he is knowledgeable in.
Yes, I can actually tell you that. If you're so kind, just go ahead and just get a little bit closer. There you go. So, I happen to know a few different things. I know a bit about the history of Netheril and its fate. I know a little bit about vampirism and the traits of vampires. I know several different rituals surrounding the making, bottling, and drinking of Elderquist. It is a beautiful, ruby-colored elven liquor distilled from sunshine and rare summer fruits. I also know about the dreaded behemoth known as the Tarask.
The what?
The Tarask. In case you do not know, the Tarask is an ancient titan from ages past that slumbers beneath the earth. It is a creature that destroys out civilizations wherever it goes. It is said to be a punishment from the gods.
Not from Eldath.
Well, no, certainly not from Eldath. No, of course not. But from one of the more vengeful ones, certainly.
Sounds unpleasant.
Indeed, quite unpleasant. What I wouldn't give to see a Tarask up close. It would be such a fascinating sight.
You're sure about that?
Oh, indeed. I wouldn't want to be in the way, but I would like to see from a distance.
You just said up close.
Well, yes, but not in the way, like from behind it, from a, profile view, just close enough that it doesn't notice you, but far enough away that you're not in the danger zone.
You said they spend a lot of time slumbering.
Yes, it does. There hasn't been a recent upheaval or awakening in who knows how long. Thousands? Hundreds of thousands of years? Quite a long time. Certainly no direct record of it in recent history, but from ages past.
And what about vampirism?
Yes. You hear a couple hums and ha-has coming from the orb. Well, let me tell you all about vampires. Vampires, contrary to popular belief, do not, in fact, have an aversion to garlic. That happens to be complete and utter local superstition. But several other theories about vampires are, in fact, true. That, for instance, they cannot view themselves in silver-backed mirrors. Or was that the other way around? That they can view themselves in silver-backed mirrors. No. Hold on. It needs to make its own check for its own lore.
Silver is one of them anti-undead, anti-weird shit metals, isn't it? So...
Yes, it is in fact a mirror backed with silver reveals a vampire because they do not appear in it. Yes, I recall now. And as well, a vampire cannot cross a threshold unless it has been invited in. And a vampire cannot cross running water. A vampire, of course, cannot tolerate any bit of sunlight, or else it will start deteriorating. I know.
Well, I think I'd have a problem with vampire if I invited it in, but if I was outside and I found myself near one of Eldath's streams, I think I'd be all right.
Oh, most certainly. From what I'm told and what I've researched in my spare time, or my memory, Eldath pools are mirror-like. So, I mean, if it's magical enough, it might in fact reveal one.
How do you research?
Well, partially it's what's been told to me, and partially what's been instilled in me by others. Remember, I was with the Harpell family for generations. You pick up a thing or two.
How are you instilled?
Oh, just, a little bit of an arcane ritual here or there. It's a bit of a complicated process. I don't want to bore you with the details, but you mentioned Mr. Skinak, I think I heard your name was. Liquor requires specific fruits that can only be located in the jungles of Chult, far to the south, the southwest.
How valuable are those on their own?
The fruits on themselves are not super valuable, although they are uncommon. I believe they have similar properties of a healing potion on their own if they are found. At least they can be used as such with the proper herbal reagents. But the process itself apparently takes tens of years, and only the elves really have the patience to do so. Apparently, it's quite good. Bit of a cherry flavor, but not the cherry flavor you get from healing potions. Like an actual fruity cherry flavor, like real ones.
Yeah. I wonder if I could accelerate that somehow.
He's gonna make a
Try
cheap
to-
wine copy of
That
Elvish.
was honestly my thing. Was like, okay, well, maybe if those are relatively, if those aren't very valuable in themselves, maybe we could get them, make the wine, sell that, make a profit, use that to bootstrap our way into having the money for the herbs. But we need to have some way to accelerate that, which in real life I think I actually do know a way to do that, but I don't know if Skunk would ever figure that out. Is time magic a thing in D&D?
Only kind of recent, like not really time travel, but like the closest thing is like the Chronomancer and the Dunamancy magic that came with the Wildmount book, but not overall. Like some things can be flavored as such, like haste or slow. That's like the closest you can get.
Time stop.
Time stop, for instance. That's also like the closest thing you can get with that.
Yeah, so not something that would like accelerate time in a barrel.
Fireball might be considered.
Yeah, not in particular.
Question for the wizard lady who's possessing the other wizard lady.
Yes.
Wizard ladyception.
Right. Oh, I had it, but I lost it. Oh. Do you have a lot of funds, or are you just kind of making do?
Well, I
had a thought.
Well, if I looked at my old satchel, I have 30 gold.
Okay, just you don't have funds in general. You're not like a rich lady wizard who does this for kicks. You're doing this out of your own
research. Yes. Remember, Verlin's the one with the family connections. She's the one who's probably loaded. I had to research my own things through my own power, except when taking things from others. But regardless, Verlin's the one who probably has the most cash.
So there's no sense in trying to barter with you for some of that money.
Well, I mean, if you want to put it that way, I suppose. Not to interrupt, but did you want to know anything about the fate of Netheril? I haven't yet fully, I could speak some more knowledge if you like.
What's the city that fell into the iceberg, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Yes, this fallen nethery city of Yithrin. Yes, yes. I can tell you all about that.
Sure.
Excellent, excellent. So, the Empire of Netheril arose more than 5,000 years ago.
No, just kidding.
And then, like, fade to black as everyone just falls asleep. And then in the morning, and that's how... I know he hasn't been talking the whole night. But, at this point, do you guys actually want to learn about this? Or do you guys want to just...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just making a joke with that.
Okay, we'll say this happens as you guys are kind of like waiting for it to turn to nightfall again.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just kind of giving you some information.
While I'm listening, I'd be like adjusting my spells to for the long rest.
Absolutely. As I was saying, the Empire of Netheril arose more than 5,000 years ago. Those who followed the Dale Reckoning calendar would place the date of Netheril's birth at around minus 3,859 DR. The Nethery's legacy began with the discovery of the Nether Scrolls. These long golden scrolls taught Nethery's arcanists how to wield magic beyond their wildest fantasies. It took centuries, but the Netherese who mastered the power of the Nether Scrolls became a ruling class, living on great flying cities or taking refuge in remote subterranean lairs. Despite their great power, the Netherese faced a growing threat. Under the heart of their empire lived spell-casting aberrations called Farim. Using their ability to drain magic, the Farim began to unravel the weave, without which Netheril would collapse into ruin. Around minus 339 DR, 4 years after the fall of Yithrin, the Empire's most powerful arcanist, Karsus, attempted to neutralize the Farim threat by casting a spell of unparalleled power that would enable him to replace Mistral as the god of magic, giving him absolute control over the weave. Mistral countered Karsus at a key moment, so the legend goes, during the casting of the spell, a feat she could accomplish only by sacrificing herself. Oh, no, it's pronounced, it's spelled P-H-A-E-R-I-M-M, Farim. And I'll spell that out in the chat here. How does that actually go? I lost my place as I was looking away. There we go. Where was I? Yes. Mistral countered Karsus at a key moment during the casting of the spell, a feat she could accomplish only by sacrificing herself and tearing the weave. Karsus was slain instantly, and for a time thereafter, most of the creatures of the world were either unable to cast magic or simply unable to control it. This was called the Spell Plague. And without great magic to keep them aloft, the remaining flying cities of Netheril crashed to the ground, and many arcanists who survived were driven mad. Once magic came into use, however, Netherese arcanists could no longer cast their mightier spells as they had before, forcing them to resort to baser wizardry. So, 400 years after that, when Karsus cast a spell, the Netherese Empire was no more, crushed by its enemies and undone by its own hubris. As for the fate of Netheril, what's curious is that the fate of Netheril, it fell before this event took place. So, the Faerûn were assumed not to be the cause of its fall. As far as we're concerned, in terms of Yithrin's history, Yithrin was researching giant artifacts, the ones that were dotting the Dale, back before, of course, 10 towns and any other major settlements existed at the time. But, of course, no one really knows what happened to Yithrin or what caused it to fall, as its fate is different than the ones that came after. And that is my general knowledge of the fate of Netherese cities.
So, We didn't learn anything.
I say.
I mean, we learned about stuff outside of the cities, but
Well, I mean, that's the reason this whole expedition exists.
fair enough.
I mean, well.
We'll tell you if we learn anything.
Well, okay, well, hold on. I might know something else. Hold on. Let me think. Clearly distraught by not giving you some information that you think would be useful to yourself, he frantically tries to think of something else to give you. Oh, okay. Let's see, what could he give you? Okay.
Anything about that glacier?
Well, the Ragged Glacier, well, we don't really, well, not about the glacier itself, but I do happen to know a little bit of a tidbit. The city itself of Yithrin was controlled by a lich known as, I believe his name was Iriolachris. I'll write that down.
There's something helpful. Now we know to expect undead.
As well, let's see here. Let's see. There is, actually, there is something here. Here's something else I can offer you as well. Usually the denizens of Yithrin and other cities of the Netherese, they have their own specific language called Loros, which is a mix of Elven and a couple other arcane languages like Draconic and a couple other such things. Few alive actually know the tongue. I believe, Velin knew the language. I don't suppose you know the language, Miss Lantimir? I don't, but I can learn. Right.
Got a spell for that.
Oh, do you? Oh, that's convenient. Yeah, oh, that's jolly good. Jolly good.
Is it Loras? Is the name of the language?
The name of the language is called... Yeah, Lorsoss. So that'll be Loros, Netherese tongue. I'm away from the mic, so I'm maybe a bit quiet. There we go. And well, that's a bit stretching my memory a little bit, but there you have it. Was that
We did learn
helpful?
more there. That was helpful, yeah.
Oh, thank
When there's a
goodness.
lich involved.
Oh, there's like an intense metallic sigh of relief coming from the orb.
So you like learning stuff, right?
Oh, absolutely. I love it. I just love to learn.
Would you like to learn about Eldath?
I don't believe I have enough of Eldath in my research stores. I would love to learn all about Eldath.
I'm going to cast a ceremony spell on him.
Oh boy, well... Okay.
As a ritual. Or no, wait. Does ritual make it 10 times the length or 10 minutes more?
It's just 10 minutes more.
Okay, yeah.
It's not 10 times
As a
more.
ritual.
All right. Interesting. So, let me see here. So it is a humanoid, but I will say because he's not humanoid, you don't.
I'm gonna cast it, and it won't give him the ability, but at least he'll learn the stuff from it. I'm assuming.
Right. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna
ritual.
have you waste like the material component. So you're good with that. You just go through the motions, and you kind of show them how everything goes. Like that is fascinating, and from my experience, some Eldath worshippers take vows of pacifism. Is that correct?
That is correct. In fact, I have done that. It's made things a little difficult, but I have friends who've taken the alternative vow that their deities request.
Fascinating.
So it's kind of balanced out. Kind of glancing towards Savage and Morte Blanca.
You actually will, as you kind of say that, you will hear a kind of like a snort coming from Muerte's direction. And what good does that do you?
Well, it means my powers are more likely to increase.
She will say nothing and just kind of stare at Savage's body. Was it enough for him?
Someday it might be.
We will see. And with that, you guys, it is around that time. You think it'll be around nightfall. I will say, let's see here. As you surface again, I will have all of you roll perception checks for me as you're kind of peeking out above the surface of the waves.
Perception. What do my bold eyes see? Nothing.
Yeah, you got a little bit of salt in your eye from the ocean water scales, and it's kind of like squeezing it out.
Forgot to pull your goggles down.
The goggles, they do nothing!
Yeah, some of the water got in the goggles, which is why you're in this state. But for Hawks and Meepo, you just see as a massive bird flies overhead just as you're reaching the surface, and the aurora trailing behind it. If there was ever a time to go, it is now.
I hope it didn't see us. It doesn't look like it did.
You don't think it did?
All
It
right,
is going
boys
on its
and
way.
girls, party hardy. Let's roll.
All right. So, of course, Muerte will come with you, as now she is not carrying the heavy burden that is the body of Savage. And you will all make your way towards the fortress. And you ascend the staircase after traveling for a while. Let me just go ahead and move to a different map. And of course, another map by Tessa on DM's Guild. Made by her. Made by them. So let's see here. You all now approach this massive doorway. The doors are easily 30 feet high and are made completely out of ice.
That's on brand.
Indeed. Each step is 4 foot higher than the last as you're making your way to the top. It's a bit of a difficult terrain for you, but taking the time that you need, you eventually kind of get used to it and just take the journey. It does mean it takes some time. You gather, the journey towards the fortress was at least easy on foot. This is taking a significant amount of time, unless you have a way to make it go faster.
Well, I could dash, but I'd leave you guys behind.
Hawks isn't affected by difficult terrain while walking.
Ah, okay. So Hawks, you are as fast as your slowest member. That is important, but you do make it to the top faster than everyone else, and so does Meepo.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess, it doesn't really have a high mobility option, outside of being relatively high dexterity, so.
Fair enough.
I guess he, could be using, like, his crowbar as a sort of ice pick. or climbing axe.
Fair enough. I'll let you.
With like jump and hook the crowbar over the edge and use that to climb up.
Sure. I'll go ahead and let you make an athletics check for me.
But I got honestly 15.
15. Okay. I'll see with that, and for most of your benefits, I'll say like maybe scales is perhaps on Muerte's back, and Muerte is pretty fast. As for like the actual structure, like the actual like make of the stairs are also made of that kind of that icy material, but they're not slippery because there is a thin layer of snow and rime that seems to prevent you from slipping down. Thankfully. But with that, you guys are able to reduce the amount of time it takes to get up. Normally, I would say it probably would have taken an hour. This probably takes you maybe about half the time. Maybe 25, 30 minutes instead. But you do get to the set of double doors. And as you get closer, you can see these massive slabs of ice are covered in dragon skulls and bones, embedded almost into like what you assume are shaped to be like door knockers. And there is carved into the lintel is a single word in Dwarvish script.
Which I can read.
You can, and I believe so can Hux. It will read out Grimskull. Grimskull.
Well, Hawks can read literally anything, so yes.
Indeed.
Yes.
Alright. So, the doors are quite massive.
How are the bones secured into the structure?
They are frozen in. Yeah, they're thick enough in there that like you don't feel like pulling them out would break them per se, because they are dragon bones. They are quite sturdy material. But from your guess, it would take a significant amount of force to break them off.
I think getting the dragon bones is something we do after we've dealt with the whole never-ending winter thing. Because I don't know if we have the time right now to do the project.
Yeah, fair enough. That was my thinking. It might be useful to sell some stuff.
Yeah, I don't
We
think
had a lot of money to earn.
It'd be hard to drag that all the way back to Angajuk.
No, we'll see if there's we'll see, I guess, how quickly we need to be leaving.
Yeah.
Maybe I can melt one out.
Alright, so do you open the doors?
Can we listen at them first?
Sure, go ahead and make perception checks.
Oh.
Hawks has been very perceptive tonight. He's got his listening ears on.
Indeed.
Listening ear holes.
Alright, so none of you will hear anything from beyond this door. It is silent. So do you open it? You definitely don't hear the snoring of any dog-like creature. I will say that. Oh, Bowser. You guys there?
Yes.
I'm thinking and looking through my spells, see if there's anything I can do to...
I see Hawks is approaching the door.
I'm going to use Emboldening Bond on Hawks, Canuck, and myself. No, Hawks. Canuck and
Yes.
Scales.
Alrighty, in that case, go ahead and make for me a couple athletics checks for those of you who are opening the door with the emboldening bond.
I guess I'll help.
Huh.
Alrighty.
Like assist Morte or assist Hawks.
So Hawks is doing it. He rolled a d4. Skanuk is helping, so you have advantage, and I'm inspiring Hawks.
Alright, so roll my advantage roll is a 19, plus the D4 is 20.
Okay, with that, and because Muerte is of course behind you, she will also push with you, hammering her head into the door. The massive doors will slowly crackle as they are pushed inward, revealing the room beyond, or rather, the hallway. You will see. This appears to be some sort of entry hallway. The floors are covered in a thick coating of ice, and a calm, cool mist blows in throughout the room. To your immediate left, you will see a set of double doors leading to what you assume to be a separate room, and the hallway continues up this direction.
This icy floor going to be difficult to step on? I mean, not for Hawks. Ha ha ha! But...
Not this floor. This floor still has a thick coating of rime and snow. These aren't slippery here. You kind of test it with your foot, and you kind of, for you obviously it's not a problem. So you get Muerte to walk in, and Muerte takes a step in with her clawed talons. Without issue, she walks in. Not slippery. What you notice, of course, as well, is that pretty much everything that you see so far, doorways and ceilings, they are made for giants. The halls and ceilings are at least 30 feet high. The doors are similarly around probably like 25 feet high, 8 feet wide, and by judging by the door that you just went through, around 2.5 feet thick, chiseled ice with crude handles. The door to your immediate left, the one that you were looking at first, appears to have thick cylindrical pins of ice that rest in holes that you assume the top and bottom edges of the door's frame. It will take some doing to try and open such a door.
Well, you know...
Muerte looks at you. Let us do it together.
I'm still not used to you talking, but okay.
Neither am I. You'll have to deal with it.
Alright, athletics check.
Yep, with advantage, because Muerte is helping you. 19, you also get the D4 from Emboldening Bond.
Indeed.
4.
23.
At first, it's slow going. Muerte is trying to chisel some of the pieces off with her beak, but it isn't working as well as you'd like. So you try and slide them out and kind of push them open. And eventually, the pins crack, and the door opens.
Good job.
Yes, I did do a good job. She kind of snidely looks in your direction, Hawks. the room beyond this is long and rectangular and strewn with pieces of rotting wood and rusted metal. You see the remnants of giant weapons and weapon racks, and a rusted out helmet sized for a giant lies near the back wall. Other than that, the room is quite empty.
Are there any signs of maybe secret passages?
Go ahead and roll investigation for me.
Or perhaps even just like, not ruined items.
It shouldn't have been with advantage, but the first roll was better anyway, so...
So from what your investigation tells you, at one point, there was a large amount of perhaps some sort of material wealth in here. Either swords or like some things have been left behind. But clearly something, you can tell from the groove marks in the ice, something was dragged out of this room. And from what you can tell, relatively recently and it's interesting because it's not the same time that these weapons are rusted, because these weapons have been here for a long time that you can gather. So whatever was in this room was sealed back up, and like whether it was taken from here and the room was sealed back up, forgotten.
Interesting.
And what's interesting as well is from the groove marks was taken this direction, whatever it was. And from Meepo, because you're looking that way and you are a kobold, so you have a long range of vision here. So obviously it's pitch black in here, so you're kind of relying on your dark vision. Let's see here. So you would be able to see all the way out over here.
Or where?
All the way out to the north. Your
Okay.
current position. So you would see the hallway itself gives about 110 feet all the way to the end. From what you were looking at, appears to be a staircase that leads upward. And there is what appears to be like an open room this direction. It appears to be like a smashed doorway, it seems. And there are two other sets of doors that are, I'll show you. If revealed to will work with me. That are here and here. Also, I did not reveal the whole thing there. Hang on.
Gales, it's safe so far.
There we go. Yeah, but you can tell from what you guys are looking at, there's nothing else that is salvageable in this room. You gather anything that is salvageable went in this room from the groove marks. If we're looking for anything worthwhile, we should investigate that room then. I agree. Ness kind of steps in. If we were looking for something valuable, perhaps something of material value, if you want to, revive your friend and, hopefully myself, that might be the best bet. But that's up to the rest of you, of course.
We're looking for the codicil, but I do think we should loot whatever we can get our hands on.
Indeed. Shall we then? She kind of gestured towards the door.
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright. Muerte will kind of wander out this direction. Alright. So, again, Hawks with advantage. 23, and building bonus to apply. Alright. It's a bit easier this time. As you start cracking in the door, it seems like there's a bit more resistance, but you're having an easier time of opening it. As if someone was either pushing it from behind or there was something pushed up against the door. But as you open the door, you notice, as you push open it fully, there is the form of an old frost giant that is sitting upon a stool. He is withered and weary. He is sitting and leaning heavily on a great axe, is sitting on front of a tall door that he is guarding. The giant wooden stool upon which he sits creaks under his weight, and he stares in your direction with cloudy eyes. He is not reacting as of yet.
Does it seem like he's like, just reacting, like he's just noticing the door opening, or
Make a medicine check.
does he seem to see this?
Anyone can make a medicine check if they wish. Because currently he is not reacting.
One of the things that Fox is actually okay at.
13, 15... 13. Okay. So, for everyone... Let's see. Yeah, so for Skinnock, Hawks, and Meepo, you notice that as his eyes are cloudy, clearly his vision is not very good. But the fact that he didn't react to the door opening, he's still, seems lucid, perhaps? But I know, Caleb, I feel so bad. Your rolls have been very, very low. I'm sorry, buddy.
You have Emboldening Bond if you want to add that, but...
Literally would not help.
I know. That's why I said but.
I know, it's unfortunate. I'm sorry, man. But he might be deaf as well. Just from the lack of reaction, but still apparent lucidity. Just because he still seems to be moving about, like he's breathing. He's still there, you think. And he does actually, you see that he yawns and kind of scratches himself. But yeah, he appears to be guarding a large door behind him. What do you do?
He can't hear us. I can't really talk to him.
Yes, either.
Wonder
Maybe
how
we
he
can
knows.
See if we get too close.
I was gonna say, I wonder how he knows who he's supposed to open the door for, or who he's supposed to let by.
You guys are talking as well, and he still no reaction.
I kind of feel bad for the guy.
I wonder if he knows it's been taken over by Arl.
Is this the room that the stuff was dragged to?
Yes, and you can tell, now that you're getting a better look at the room, the groove marks are suggesting that whatever was being dragged out of there was brought into that back room that the giant is guarding.
Interesting.
Does that door look like it's difficult to open?
Not as difficult as the others.
I wonder if I could try to sneak over there and push it open.
Okay, if you'd like to, you can go ahead and roll a stealth check. Because of the certain conditions, you have advantage.
And a D4 for Emboldening Bond, so a 19.
Alright. Let me double check Frost Giant stats. Give me just a sec. Alright, double checking. Okay. As the giant gives out a big yawn, he will suddenly stop and kind of... You see as he starts to feel along the walls and then on the ground. And then you notice as each time you press your foot against the ground, his head tilts. And then his eyes go wide. And then in giant, he says, "Death! We meet at last!" And he will raise his great axe And we'll have to call a session there, as next session, there will be an initiative order.
Okay. Well, I think Hawks would be more than willing to deliver him from this suffering, if that's what he's implying there.
Yeah, dying in battle is something a giant would rather have than dying sitting guarding a door, I'd assume.
All right. And with that, we'll go ahead and call a session for tonight. Once again, thank you to Tessa Moorcroft for these beautiful maps, and of course,
nice.
as well thanks to a good friend. Well, not friend, but the person who made the music that we're listening to right now, Travis Savoy, and his album Winter's Wrath. Beautiful music as well. All right. And if you've been watching, thank you so much. We all really appreciate it, and I hope you all have a wonderful night. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Have a good night.
Bye.